for others, this is a major health issue. The Redditor included in their post that they even saw a comment on Bobby's Instagram from someone saying their blood sugar shot up despite the label claiming low sugar and carbs. To make matters worse, in the comments, people were buying this protein for their diabetic family members that have been having issues with their glucose while taking
Botrix
this.
says. Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
And this commenter had real-time data that this protein powder was causing sugar spikes. The original post with the lab results were posted on Reddit on March 3rd, 2025. On March 27, they posted an update saying that Holmes Nutrition has removed all of their protein powders from their online store. So when we go to the Holmes Nutrition website, it has the following messages, starting with the bottom being the oldest. Unfortunately, we have encountered an unexpected issue with the manufacturing facility for the protein. Due to the large increase in demand, the current facility was having issues. We are quickly searching for a new manufacturer. We hope to find a company that can grow with us. We are also working with a different manufacturer on growing our line of supplements and hope to add to the pre/post as soon as we can. Please check the site for updates, and if you have any suggestions for new protein flavors, please send us an email. The next update says, we are still diligently working on vetting new manufacturers and will share an update as soon as we can. Once protein is available for purchase, we will notify everyone via email. We absolutely love your flavor suggestions. Please keep them coming. With the final update saying, we are sorry there is such a delay. This will be our 4th manufacturer and by far the hardest to find. Unfortunately, we don't have a date yet, but we are working hard on this every day. The protein market is flooded, so manufacturers only want to work with large players. As soon as we have any solid information, we will update the site. We will definitely email everyone when we know exact dates. For myself, it was either in March or April of this year, 2025, that I first noticed the products were unavailable on the website and that Holmes was citing manufacturer issues. So since the Reddit post was already up by the time I independently noticed their website, I don't have definitive data to show if the products were pulled down before the post
Why are
went
you
up
not giving me
or
pen pressure?
after or in response to this post exposing them. But given the timeline within the post, it seems that these messages on the site were after or in response to this Reddit post. When you Google Holmes Nutrition, this Reddit post is not at the very top, so I didn't even see this post until 2 days ago from the time of recording this video. But prior to seeing this Reddit post,
I don't get it.
since
How do
March, I had been
I
diligently
fix
waiting,
the
checking the
opacity?
website every few weeks, waiting to see
Opacity.
if the
Okay,
protein was
there.
back on sale. And I was always running into these messages on the website. And honestly, the reasoning always sounded to me kind of like obfuscation and like a pretext to some real truth.
There. I
Even
hate
before I found this
the
Reddit post.
opacity
You
being
would
lower.
think that if the protein had such a large increase in demand, they'd at least stay with their current manufacturer until they could find a larger facility to get their product out and at least have partial production. They've been down since at least March, which means that that's at least 9 months of no sales. They've also completely removed all protein powders from their site, which is unusual for a company just facing production issues. The fact that they've removed all products is more consistent with trying to avoid selling a misbranded product rather than just having issues with production. So what does sound more plausible than having issues finding a manufacturer is being exposed for inaccurate nutrition facts, which is a major legal and regulatory issue. Okay, wait, as I was editing this video, I saw this Instagram post from Diamond Tier Fitness, which is this gym in northern Sacramento, that said it's selling Holmes protein. It says, it's that time again, the best tasting protein, Holmes protein is back and all your favorite flavors are in stock. But as of right now, they are still not selling it online. So it looks like they're selling it like directly, like hyper locally. I don't know why they're not selling it through their site or if they've resolved any of the issues, but as of right now, they still have not addressed the lab results. And the Instagram post said that the product would be shipped by December 8th, which is a few weeks before right now. So I don't know if they're going to put it back on their site or what, but as of today, they are selling it directly. And the fact that they're taking this route instead of just putting it back on their site is fishy. Speaking of legal and regulatory issues, while I was writing out this video and looking at my bag of protein powder, I noticed that the dietary and dietary fiber on the bag is spelled wrong. So this indicates that Bobby and his wife created this nutrition label themselves, which is allowed by the FDA, but does open the door for extreme inaccuracy and lack of trustworthiness in what's claimed on the label. So the FDA does not approve supplements or protein powders, so you're never going to see the FDA approved stamp on any of them. But that doesn't mean they are exempt from the FDA's labeling regulations. They still have to follow the FDA labeling laws. In addition, it includes non-dairy creamer as an ingredient, but pursuant to the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Section 101.4b, if an ingredient is made from 2 or more ingredients, it must declare the established common or usual name of the ingredient, followed by a parenthetical listing of all ingredients that that ingredient is made of. So, this has more ingredients that make up that non-dairy creamer, like vegetable oil or possibly even dipotassium phosphate, which are common ingredients in non-dairy creamer that are just not listed in the ingredients list. Additionally, it says cane sugar as an ingredient, so we know there are added sugars, but it just lists sugars, 3 grams. The Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Section 101.9, specifies that added sugars must be declared separately from total sugars and include the percent daily value. So, not only is the protein and carb content completely misstated, but there are just so many problems with pretty much every aspect of the packaging. In the post, the Redditor suspects amino spiking as the cause for this discrepancy in protein content, stating, lab results strongly suggest amino spiking may be happening here. So, as a quick mini biology lesson, when we build muscle, it needs protein because protein provides the essential amino acids or the building blocks to fill in those tears we get from exercise and to build new muscle tissue. And so for amino acids, we have essential and non-essential amino acids. The non-essential amino acids are the ones that our body can produce, so we don't need to get that through supplements. The essential amino acids are the ones that will help us build that muscle and is what we need to obtain from outside food sources. So amino spiking is using cheap, junky, non-essential amino acids to artificially increase the overall protein content of a powder. So they'll use these junk amino acids that our body can already produce, like taurine, glycine, L.
Captain Price at Easkin 3730 says,
And these
hello.
amino acids
Hello,
will
Captain
not help you
Price.
build muscle.
But that
So
seems...
you
Captain
don't
Price
need
at
to get
Easkin
them
3730
as a
says,
supplement because it's not
how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Came home from my second day, or second shift, second 12-hour shift. And I survived. Alright. That seems so okay, that seems so pointless to fill a protein powder with non-essential amino acids.
Captain Price at
Wow.
Easkin 3730 says, just got done playing Just Dance.
So when you take
I hope you had fun. Is that one of the games on the pads?
And so amino spiking is a pretty well-known issue in the protein powder and supplement industry, but the Redditor says that the lab results show that
I saved it as the wrong type of thing.
amino spiking, but let's look at the common
Captain Price at Easkin 3730 says,
first
it on the Nintendo Switch.
the protein powder cheap? In this case, no.
How do you even
it is
play it on the
not
Nintendo
cheap.
Switch? Is it just the arrows? That seems so pointless. Or does it use the nunchucks? The Joy-Cons?
Cheap, non-essential amino acid that is included whenever amino spiking is a thing. According to the amino acid profile on the bag, this protein powder does not include taurine. Does it include glycine?
Captain
Yes,
Price
but
Ethescan
a small
3730
percentage,
says.
according to the profile.
Joysticks.
Does it include high amounts of L-arginine?
Captain
Not
Price
with respect
Ethescan
to the other
3730
amino acids
says.
in this profile.
An
Does
iPhone,
it
I guess.
include high amounts of L-glutamine? No, it's not present. So just going through the standard checks for amino spiking, we're not seeing clear evidence of that. Now, given the rest of the inconsistencies on the bag, I'm not sure how much stock we can take in the listed amino acid profile, but even completely disregarding the amino acid profile,
I'm trying to find
amino spiking
some
would
website
still show up as protein in lab tests.
that'll help me
So
redesign
lab test listed would not
the stain
be showing
character.
only 11% protein on the results if it was amino spiked. This lab test specifically uses the Kjeldahl method, which would still read high protein. Given these facts, I disagree with the original poster that Holmes is using amino spiking. To me personally, it really just seems like we just have
there's a program that'll decompose an image into layers, but export as a PPTX? What the fuck is a PPTX?
I'm not a lawyer or a judge, so I can't say whether this was intentionally deceptive or just severe incompetence.
Shirison says.
Either way,
you said
if
PP.
Holmes is misstating the protein content,
what the fuck is a PPTX?
Not the first ones to do this. The demand for protein products is at an all-time high and continues to rise, but the supply chain can't keep up with this increase in demand, and so the price of whey and whey isolate is a lot higher now. So this
I need
that pressure element of the fraud triangle and opens the way for some shady dealings. In April of 2021, Beaumar Nutrition was sued for overstating the protein content of their protein products, and the test results showed that the protein powders had way less than even half of the protein content they had stated on the packaging. There was also against Premier Protein for not actually containing the amount of protein that was advertised on their labels. And even Muscle Milk was sued for false advertisement. They listed some of their products as being lean, even though it had the same amount of fat as all of their other products. So at the very least, misstatements or false advertising among protein products is...
And it feels like, okay, there's this image AI.
The original Reddit post were very on board with a class action lawsuit against Holmes Nutrition. But according to the original
where it says it can decompose an image into layers.
But found that Holmes Nutrition just
that's fascinating because that could be really useful for VTuber stuff.
So I know this was a long video, but I just had to talk about this. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a person that is angry and wants other people to be aware of this. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to what I have to say. I hope you have a great day and that you don't find out that you were scammed by your protein powder.
Right, so for today's video, we have an update on a situation that we spoke about maybe a month ago at this point, and it's actually a pretty wild update. Now, I am going to give a very fast recap in just a second as to what the situation's about, but I would probably recommend watching the first video if you haven't already, so you kind of know all the details of all this. I'll link in the description if you do want to watch that. But it's actually an update on the situation we spoke about in a small town called Belton in South Carolina. And the boutique that was being called out was Thomas & Turner. We can see the TikTok page right here. The person we see on this TikTok page is Brooke, the owner of Thomas & Turner. Now, the reason why Brooke and Thomas & Turner as a business were being called out is because they allegedly owed their customers over $40,000. This being because they weren't sending out orders, and they were actually being called out by this user here called Catherine Heinzman. Again, I'm going to give a very fast recap just to kind of remind you, but if you do want more information, I have made a separate video. So what Catherine mentioned in her series of videos was that Thomas & Turner, a local boutique, they sell children's clothing, right? And the way they do it is through pre-orders. So you would order the items that you want, and they would arrive maybe like a couple months later. Now, what Catherine did go on to say was at first, the company was good. Like, people were receiving their orders. Then over the last year or so, it just got much worse, where each delivery was becoming later and later, deadlines were not being met, and then eventually people just weren't receiving anything. And Catherine says the reason why Thomas & Turner could get away with this is because if you actually try to file a dispute with your bank, the fact that it had been longer than 60 days since you made that order, they couldn't get their money back. And obviously they weren't disputing these charges before 60 days because it was a pre-order, so they expected it to take that long. Now, the way that Catherine explains it, it seems like the customers of Thomas & Turner didn't realize how big this situation was, and that was mainly because as soon as anyone would put anything in the Facebook group, which is where most of these orders were made, the comment would be deleted and they would be removed from the group. So these customers waiting for their orders would go on the Facebook group and see no negativity, you know? Like, no one saying, like, where the fuck's my order? And I guess this was until there was just too many customers that were questioning this. And then a statement was actually posted in the Facebook group by the apparent Chief Financial Officer of Thomas & Turner. We took a look at the statement in the last video.
Patrick says,
Brittany, who apparently is
YouTube
the CFO
chat
of the
check.
company that no one had heard of before this statement, actually went on to write, over the last several months, I've been conducting a full financial audit of Thomas & Turner. During this time, we uncovered significant issues with a third-party payment processor, including duplicated transactions, incorrect withdrawals, and unresolved processing errors that create substantial financial impact on the business.
I'm just
and then Brittany basically
fucking
was
around.
hired to try and like help
It almost
the
worked.
financial systems, but assures all the customers that everything is okay. Now, at this point, customers started speaking to each other a bit more. They can't post on the official page, so they make their own Facebook group.
In this case, you kind of
just
just
owed.
like
In
edited
Catherine's second video, she
weird.
actually mentions that the total that they worked out, that
That
was
one
owed
was
to the
weird.
customers, was $44,644. That number is since higher, as you can imagine. Again, by the way, I do want to say these are all allegations, right? I don't know for a fact. I'm just stating what's happened here, and there's clearly enough evidence behind it for the police to be involved, which we're going to get to. And now for the final bit of this recap. Again, I have missed out some details here and there, but it's just like a basic overview. So the most recent video that Catherine had uploaded at the time of me making my previous video was this one right here, where she mentions that some people were receiving orders. Now the problem is the orders were wrong. So she shows what people were ordering, which was these like bamboo pajamas. Then when people started receiving their items, they weren't bamboo. You can see here 95% cotton, 5% spandex. And then Catherine went on to show a message between Brooke and allegedly a manufacturer. We don't know if that's a fact, but that's what was shown. And it's Brooke saying, hey, I fucked up on some Christmas orders I need to fix. If you could help me, I'd be forever grateful. What do you have? At this point, if it's the same size, I'm going to buy and offer it to them, lol. So judging from this message, again, if this is an actual message that Brooke sent to a manufacturer, it feels like because she didn't have the items that people bought, she was just going to send them anything and hope that they were happy. And yeah, that's basically how we left the last video. There wasn't really much more to speak about at that point. Even for like a couple of weeks, there wasn't really any updates. But just yesterday, out of curiosity, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's an update on that situation. Decide to have a look, and turns out, yep, there's a massive update. And yeah, we'll get to the police involvement in just a second, but to do this in chronological order, over the past few weeks since my previous video, more customers have been calling out the business. Like, for example, there's a video here from a user called Kristen F. Metcalf.
Located in Belton. So once I started speaking about my experience,
Oh, okay. What I'm doing wrong is that I have not been.
and we all kind of got together and
Okay,
decided the
I'm
best thing
playing
for
with
us
the.
to do is to spread awareness about this. And
What I
let
did wrong is I
people know
didn't
they should not be ordering
specify
from this boutique.
style.
So for me personally, I bought Christmas outfits from Thomas and Turner back in, I would say, like May and June. And
So it kept
they were
defaulting to this
about
pixel art
$300
style.
for all the outfits I
That's
bought,
interesting.
with an estimated time arrival between August, September, and October. It's December now. I don't have those items, and I have zero communication as to where they are they going to be here, a refund, or anything.
Yeah, I mean, the whole pre-order thing is pretty tricky, right? Especially if you're just doing it through, like, a Facebook group or just a random website. You really are putting your trust in that company at that point, right? Because as we heard, the banks don't want to get involved because it happened too long ago. And of course, in this situation, the business had built up a bit of a reputation. I mean, everyone's saying that at first they were pretty good and it just got way worse over the years. But still, you definitely have to have some trust in that company if you're going to be doing the whole pre-order thing. Again, especially if it's through, like, a Facebook page or something like that.
Yeah, what
Because
do you mean?
if the
I've
items don't arrive,
exceeded
it's
my
gonna be a struggle to get your money back,
GPU
unless they do
quota.
it to such a big scale that the police get involved, which we're gonna see.
Turner actually says that they do not offer refunds
Dang it.
even on things not received, and that is illegal. You can look it up. It is illegal to do that.
Yeah, that'd be the craziest policy ever. Like, imagine if you bought something and they were like, oh, by the way, just to let you know, if we don't give you the thing that you bought, nothing we can do about it. No refund policy. And I don't really understand what Brooke thought was going to happen at this point, right? Because I get it, right? Apparently the business had been going through some financial troubles. We heard that in the statement. But then we also hear that Brooke is still running the business and taking more orders when, in reality, your main priority should be trying to fulfill the orders that are, like, months later at this point. And I'm pretty sure in my last video, like, I questioned the fact, like, does she even have the money anymore, right? People are asking for refunds, but if she literally doesn't have the money and she spent the money, people aren't going to be able to get the refunds. I don't know if that's the case, but from everything that we've heard, Brooke really didn't want to give refunds. And of course, as well as TikTok videos, people have been posting on Facebook calling out Thomas and Turner. For example, there's a post here, it has a screenshot saying that Brooke declined your request for $570. This is someone trying to get back their money. And they've even put a caption saying, I don't know how people sleep at night knowing you owe someone $570. I really don't know how people sleep at night knowing you owe people over $40,000. This is proof right here. I gave Brooke plenty of chance to pay me the money back that she stole from me. You'll be careful who you invest your money in. I will never order from Thomas and Turner again, and I would advise anyone that doesn't want their money stolen too to never support this business ever again. I don't pray hate or bad for nobody, but this lady is a crook. Feel free to share. I want other people to be aware. I would hate for any more mamas out there to fall victim of her. Now, a week ago, as I'm recording this, Catherine actually uploaded a new update, and she starts off by talking about how much money is owed now that more people have got in contact to explain how much they're owed.
Hello, I'm back with an update on Thomas & Turner. If you don't know, Thomas & Turner is a boutique in Belton, South Carolina that scammed me and others for almost $50,000 in county. If you need to know more, go watch my Thomas & Turner playlist. Also, yes, you heard that right. We're up to almost $50,000, and that was a few days ago, so I'm sure the total is up even higher now. So at this point, Brooke is just digging her hole deeper and deeper and deeper. We started realizing that several people were getting emails that Thomas & Turner had shipped their item. Their item was out for delivery. That sounds like great news, right? Wrong. So once they finally got the email that said your item has been delivered, they would go check their front porch, check their mailbox, check everywhere. Guess what? No package. But if you click on the tracking information, the tracking says it was delivered to their city, their state, their zip code.
Yeah, so like I said, this is about a week ago. This is before the police get involved. And to be honest, even now, as I'm making this video right now, I'm a little bit confused of how this part that's being explained is even possible. Because as we just heard, people were receiving tracking numbers, but there was no item actually being delivered, even though the tracking said that it was delivered. Now, Catherine does go on to explain what this process is. Apparently, it's a well-known scam that people do. But yeah, this is going to some extreme lengths to try and scam people, allegedly.
Delivered to their city, their state, their zip code. So they called the post office and said, what's up with this? Where's my package? It said, it's not. The post office said, can you confirm your name and your address? And they said their name and their address, and the post office said, no, that package was not delivered to you. So allegedly, according to the workers at the post office, Brooke is reusing tracking numbers. So basically, somebody orders a package, and it could be from Brooke or it could be somebody else. We don't know if she's reusing her own tracking numbers or if she's buying them from somebody else. But they wait until there's a package coming to that same zip code, and then Brooke puts in that tracking number for a package that she has never shipped out. And she's doing this so when you dispute this charge, then she can say, oh, post office said it was delivered. But it wasn't.
Yeah, so from what I'm hearing here, this is extremely dodgy. And let's be honest, you don't want to mess with the post office either. And these are of course just allegations, but what we're hearing here is somehow Brooke has access to these other tracking numbers for items that are being delivered somewhere near in the area or the same zip code, I guess, right? And she's giving her customers them zip codes so that when they
well, it didn't really do what I wanted it to do.
It's not. Now the reason why this confused me and the reason why
kind
I'm
of what you
questioning
get.
how this is even possible is mainly because, like, surely the tracking information has the exact address that items were shipped to. So even if like your online tracking just using the tracking number doesn't show the exact address that it's going
big
to,
makes it.
the post office would have that information. So it confuses me how she thought she would get away with this. Again, allegations.
Just kind of
obviously,
upscaled
right,
it.
But if that is the case, then it just seems like a very stupid way of going around it. Now, people were leaving comments saying stuff like, don't the tracking number show an old date and time delivered, or does it just say delivered? I don't pay attention typically. To which Catherine says, no, it's a recent date and time. And yeah, as you can see, the
kind of
comments
looks
kinda cut
too
off. I
short
don't know why
to
the
exist.
TikTok desktop's doing that. I'm going to try and make sense of it though. So she's either actually shipping one item to a zip code and using that tracking number on multiple orders that should be delivered the same time frame, or she's buying tracking numbers from a completely different seller that will be delivered at the same time frame. All of the tracking numbers are current, if that makes sense, but they're being used for multiple orders, is what I believe that says. Yeah, so if this is the case, I would be very curious to know how she's getting these tracking numbers. I mean, if it's her own orders and just duplicating the tracking numbers and actually sending one person an item and then giving multiple people the same tracking number, I'd get that. But if she's buying the tracking numbers from someone else and using them, this seems like some like dark web shit. Now, obviously, the whole way through this, people keep commenting saying like, it needs to be reported to the police. You need to report it everywhere you possibly can. Catherine confirms in this video from a week ago that it is being reported.
And yes, this has been reported and is continuing to be reported. Don't worry. And back to being reported, I've heard a lot of people in all of my comments saying, report it to the Better Business Bureau, the Attorney General, the police, all of these things. Don't worry. We are reporting it with everybody we can report it to. Everybody has filed so many complaints with so many people. So it's all being done. It just takes a little while.
And yeah, it turns out it was definitely being reported, because here we have a post from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, and they've actually released a statement because they have officially arrested Brooke. So the statement reads, on December 26, 2025, the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office was notified by a Fairfield County resident who reported being the victim of a scam involving Thomas & Turner Boutique, a business located in Belton, Anderson County, South Carolina. Deputies and investigators with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office collected all available information and initiated an investigation into the complaint. So yeah, what's interesting about this is it's actually a different county that has made the arrest. I'm not gonna lie, the whole like county sheriff's office thing in America really confuses me. Very different to how it works here. But I did see a lot of people in the comments like questioning like why on earth like Fairfield County was the first to actually act, when most of the people affected and were reporting it were probably
accidentally
from
like
Anderson
delete
County. I would assume, again, it's all a bit
YouTube
confusing
chat.
to me the way it all
Yeah.
works, but
Yes,
I would
sir.
assume it is mainly because there is more people who reported it to Anderson County Sheriff's Office, therefore there is more to investigate. That's what I would assume. But either way, the statement carries on and says, on December 31st, 2025, investigators from Fairfield County Sheriff's Office met with a Fairland County magistrate and presented the facts of the case. Based on the information provided, an arrest warrant was issued for Pamela
Okay,
Brooke.
I mean, YouTube delay is not too horrible.
I've pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. Owner of Thomas & Turner Boutique, on the charge of obtaining goods under false pretenses in violation of South Carolina's Code of Laws. Immediately following the issuance of the arrest warrant, the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office coordinated with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. Brooke was taken into custody and transported to the Anderson County Detention Center. She is currently in the process of being extradited to Fairfield County, where she will be formally charged. So what's interesting about this is that this arrest is actually based on one person's report. Now, obviously what we're hearing is that there are so many people that are owed money from Brooke. And they do go on to ask people who have been affected to send some information in. And obviously this is all going to be added into the case. I don't, again, know how it really works with the different counties, because there's going to be some people in Fairfield County, some people in Anderson County. So I'm not sure how the charge really works. But yeah, I was shocked when I read this, because we have spoken about many situations of people allegedly scamming, and it's very rare for the police to actually do anything about it. So the fact that they did in this situation, I was quite surprised. But reading further through the statement here, it says the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office recognizes that this case is associated with allegations made by numerous individuals, including claims circulating on social media platforms. Anyone who believes they may be a victim of similar activity is encouraged to report their allegations to their local law enforcement agency. This investigation remains ongoing. Additional information may be released as it becomes available. Attaches a booking image courtesy of Anderson County Detention Center. And following this statement being posted, Catherine did upload another video kind of explaining what's going on.
So she was arrested because one of the victims that she scammed, who lives in Fairfield County, South Carolina, went and reported Brooke to her local police station. So police in Fairfield County were able to get a warrant for Brooke's arrest. So Brooke lives in Anderson County. So the Fairfield police worked with the Anderson police to pick Brooke up. So she was originally booked into Anderson, and then Fairfield came and transported her back to Fairfield. This right here is Brooke's charge. I know it says $1,000 or less. Obviously, we know it's way higher than that, but this arrest is based on one person's report in Fairfield County.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this all progresses, because, I mean, looking at the charge, it says value of $2,000 or less. As we just heard Catherine say, and as we've been hearing throughout all of this, it's way more than that. Allegedly upwards of like $40,000, $50,000. So even though we don't know what the official like legal outcome is going to be, I mean, this is a
I really like the
massive
slightly
business.
pouty
I mean,
look.
I don't even really understand how the business would carry on after this. If you've
Yeah.
seen that the owner of a boutique has been arrested
I
for
gotta-
allegedly scamming people, you're probably not going to want to shop there, are you? And that's very different to some customers just making like TikTok videos talking about it, right? This is a much bigger statement. Now, obviously, the best case scenario here is that everyone gets their money back. Not really sure if that's even possible, or at least in a short time period, because again, we don't know if Brooke actually has the money or if it's been spent. But what we do know is that she wasn't willing to give a lot of people refunds previously, and that feels like it's probably for a reason.
$1,000 or less. Obviously, we know it's way higher than that, but this arrest is based on one person's report in Fairfield County. She was released on bond today. She had a $1,000 bond. Based on this, it looks like she'll have court again in Fairfield County on February the 3rd.
Yeah, so it looks like she's going to go to court in February. I don't know if that is going to be for the one person, like the one report, or if other reports are going to be added to that. Obviously, the sheriff's office were asking if other people have been affected to please contact them. So maybe there'll be other charges added. Again, we just don't know at this point. But, I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, I was shocked that it had actually got to this point, just because we had spoke about many very similar situations previously and it didn't. But maybe because it is in such a small town and it became such a big situation to the point where people around the world were aware of what was going on, that is maybe why they took action a lot quicker. I'm not sure, but it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. First of all, just on this situation in general. Did you think it would get to this point? Did you not? Let me know. But also let me know what you think is going to happen next. From what I can tell, there hasn't been a statement released from Brooke or anything like that. I mean, there wasn't a statement released when all these videos were being posted, right? So I don't think she's going to say anything publicly, but maybe she will. But if you do want to see an update on this situation in the future when we get one, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.
This comment was not written by me. It may sound like or look like it. I mean, you can even see my little face down there, so they must be my words. But I had absolutely no part in this sentence being formed. Well, I guess that's not exactly true, and this is where the problem arises. Towards the end of last year, YouTube rolled out this nifty little feature, allowing creators to break free from some of the more annoying or monotonous things that bothered them on a day-to-day basis, like talking to their fans. Ugh, what a chore. By giving them the option to choose from a bunch of pre-written replies when responding to a comment.
Oh no. Is my internet dying? And there's no dropped frames. Offer up, we offer up. Heart stopped. And live to see another day. Why are you doing this? It's loading forever. Well, it could be protesting my use of adblock, to be fair. Or my internet is crapping out. Oh no. Page isn't responding.
Remember back in the old days when authors would write out their stories word by word, paragraph by paragraph, and page by page, working late into the night like absolute fiends? Yeah, me too. While there are still many human writers like myself who much prefer and insist on the tried and true methods of crafting a story that have existed for centuries, we as a society have the dubious fortune of living in a time where artificial intelligence is taking the world by storm, including, unfortunately, the arts. If you're on the internet for at least a substantial amount of time a day, you've probably seen many an image or video generated with AI. I've seen quite a lot of these myself. But there also seems to be a worrying uptick in people who like to churn prompts through programs like ChatGPT, copy-paste their results in a quote-unquote manuscript, cover up their cursed concoction with some fancy trappings, and pass it off as their own novel while calling themselves writers. If you couldn't guess already, I have a lot of opinions on this. Before we get any further though, I should probably explain why I'm talking about the creative writing industry this time around, as opposed to the visual art related stuff that I usually cover on the channel. On top of being a comic artist and illustrator, I'm also a writer and a very avid reader. In fact, I love books so much that I got my start on YouTube talking about them. I have a mountain of books that I still need to read, and I also have multiple novel projects that I still have to finish.
I just like to read. But all I read is online slop. I have not read a Western published novel in quite a while. if I would, I'd probably go back to like one of my favorites, like not Dr. Martin. It's this like romance mystery where this guy Martin, no, Matthew, no. His name is like something with an M. He moves into this like little quaint town, sets up a practice, and then people start dying. And he doesn't fall in love. He's very emotionally stunted. And it's quite cute. Because it's kind of like, wow, people are dying around me. Wow, everyone is like really annoying me. Why can't I just be left alone? And the sheriff is just like, you gotta deal with this shit. You chose a small town. Also, please stop getting kidnapped. It's like, it's not love. I guess it's a very realistic type of love. Which is why I like it a lot. Well, I also like the murder and the mystery part. I think it finished. Like, I read a lot of them. I could just, reread it. Because how do you find a good book these days?
It's fine. It's fine. While transparent about it and keep the effects of its—
Wait, did my other page load? No, it didn't.
This comment was not written by me. It may sound like—
I do index 4.
This comment
No.
was not written by me.
I've lost my playlist. Is the ultimate sad. I had 18 videos in that playlist. Not like they were particularly like engaging or anything. I just want it back. Except Edge, don't fail me now.
This comment was not written by me. It may sound
okay.
or look like it. I mean,
Get it
you can
back.
even see
I
my
just had to
little face
kill
down
it
there, so
and
they
then
must be
refresh.
my words. But I had absolutely no part in this sentence being formed. Well, I guess that's not exactly true, and this is where the problem arises. Towards the end of last year, YouTube rolled out this nifty little feature, allowing creators to break free from some of the more annoying or monotonous things that bothered them on a day-to-day basis, like talking to their fans. Ugh, what a chore. By giving them the option to choose from a bunch of pre-written replies when responding to a comment rather than using their own limited brain power to think of one for themselves. Just like a majority of YouTube's new AI-powered features, it was horrendous. But the other day, in the midst of immense boredom, I committed a cardinal sin for anyone who—
Where is Pinterest? I need pose ideas.
Through my comment section. I know, how horrifying. Once I managed to work my way through the barrage of people who won't stop saying I look like Paul McCartney, pyrocynical, or I guess any vaguely British person that just happens to come to their mind, I suddenly realised something. These responses have started talking exactly like me. Every single one of them contains all the hallmarks of how I talk to people on a daily basis. Like my steadfast belief to never press the caps lock button in my entire life, the fact that I absolutely cannot take a compliment and will always say, "That's very kind of you to say, it really means a lot." Or perhaps the most damning piece of evidence—
I look up femboy poses and I get the most degenerate shit.
Not stop,
But I guess
at every possible opportunity. See, I just did it.
this
then.
means I got what I
Bullshit
asked
just
for.
comes out of me. I know I'm giggling, but this is insanely weird, right? I don't want to come off sounding like Edwin Murray, but
I
there may
need
be some
something to-
mimicry
okay.
afoot here. FNAF fans, did I get that
Okay.
right? I had to do some
I found
intense
something to
Googling for
reference.
that joke. Don't get me wrong, some of the replies it gives to me still sound like someone just tipped a bag of Scrabble tiles upside down and called it a day. Thank you, that is very kind to say. It's like they're almost there. YouTube has so clearly taken the transcripts for how I reply to comments and used it to inform or personalize
It's
the
for
options given
me.
to me. It's not like I'm special or anything and they only chose me. Every single creator that you
Already
know on the
11.
platform has had their voices hoovered up by this
And I
thing
did
like
none of what I
Ursula
was
in the
supposed to
Little
do.
Mermaid. And now I guess we've got to sort of awkwardly sit here, constantly staring down at the ocean, unable to hang out with Sora, Donald and Goofy, or watch some fish go to town in an orchestral solo.
It's like
and ask
standing
yourself
is a thing
simple
we all do
question.
as humans,
What is
but
the purpose of any of this? I mean, do you understand
sometimes you just
how
need a
backwards
more
it is to
unique
have an
way of
AI-generated
standing.
response to a comment that talks about the awful state of the internet right now, one in which the AI in question agrees with what's being said. That's like a vegan food festival being sponsored by an abattoir. Those things should not come
I mean, the
together.
shorts
YouTube may
preview,
state that their ultimate goal is to help
interestingly
you more
enough,
easily
does it
engage with
like,
your fans, but let's be real here for a minute. That is a load of hot stinking
I don't know if
garbage.
it's
So brushing
stuck in
aside
like
the whole trading on the will of other
looking
people
at
to
one
satisfy your
segment
bottomless
of
pit of greed
the
that hungers
main
for other
video, or
people's
if it does
data,
like
the entire point of this
readjust
platform is to be a
occasionally.
more
No idea.
real, authentic alternative to the boring formats
I
of traditional
like the
television
face.
and mainstream media, where the wall between those sitting on camera and those sitting
Okay,
on a sofa
body.
right now was brought down, as anybody could make anything. YouTube, you made comments to reinforce this, as anyone could talk to their favorite creator at any time, not a generalized approximation of them spat out by a random word generator. This is why it bugs me so much. It goes against the entire point of everything here in the first place. It would be like sitting in a restaurant waiting for your food to arrive and then the waiter rocks up with a scribbled drawing of it on a piece of paper. Technically speaking, this is what I ordered, but in what world would I have wanted this? No one wins in this scenario.
Happening with the
Excuse me,
colors
sir,
or
I
anything
don't need
here.
to
What
barge
the
in,
fuck is
but
this?
We've made a little bit of a mistake. You actually
Oh,
ordered
it's on
the steak and
screen
chips, not the
instead of
pepperoni pizza.
normal.
We're ever so sorry. Oh, see? Now that's much better. So yummy. The fuck am I doing? This annoys me on so many levels. On the commenter side, what's the point of even
Shoulder?
posting one in the first place if there's a tiny chance that your favorite creator responds with some Bethesda-ass NPC dialogue? Then from
The reason that
creator
his
side, YouTube
arm
can
would
so
need to go
easily
that way. No.
replicate
Alright.
and mimic my speech patterns, even down to my weird, stupid little intricacies. So much so that even I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that's a bit odd, isn't it? Where does the line get drawn? If all I am is words, terrible jokes, and a man who just ate paper on camera, I might as well phone him up and get the mimic to do the rest of this video. What's the point anymore?
If you're asking whether any part was fabricated, no.
But it was. It was all made up.
ChatGPT is gaslighting me and lying to me.
It's not so much that we can't tell what's fake, it's that we can't tell what's real. Yeah. When Drake had Tupac rap using AI, it made Kendrick Lamar so mad that Kendrick Lamar ruined Drake's life. Is that how that happened?
It feels as if nowadays none of us can escape the grasps.
I don't know, now I don't like the pose anymore, because it's too difficult.
That's in the form of horrendous looking ads talking about the wonders of
Why is this labeled just trans things?
A random Donny with 30,000 subscribers waffling
This is
about on your
femboy.
TV. And hey, whilst you're there, why don't you make it 30,001 and hit that subscribe button? That was awful.
I need more.
Or those emails that I won't stop being sent from companies who want me to promote their latest line of terrible AI products. Because my one goal in life is to shill out to Gizmo or
What about
Schlingo
you?
AI for $75. That's all I'm here for. What was that I hear you say? You want more shameless promotion? Well, hold on there a second. I need to go and get something. God, this is a tiny roof. Oh god, if we can you sort of ignore the incredibly scuffed nature of this setup? I have to come up here because cats are sleeping downstairs and I don't want to disturb them. Thank you everybody on the wall of Patreon. You're all fabulous human beings and I very much do not deserve you. God, my hair is just in my eyes. Anyway, back to it. YouTube and Google at large are just the latest in a long line of its Silicon Valley neeks that have invested far too much in artificial intelligence over the past few years. And just like your friend who's had one too many Jaeger bombs at 2:30 in the morning, they take no accountability for those past decisions and are about to make it your problem to deal with real fast. This is why most platforms that we engage with on a daily basis are constantly rolling out AI enhanced features
I want to look up
spice the
standing
timeline.
male
Popping out
poses,
anime girlfriend
but then they're
chatbots,
all
those
too like
unbelievably
manly,
awful search
and I
engine
need
overviews that we cannot escape
girly
from now,
male
or perhaps
poses.
Meta's whole fake
How exactly do
influencer
I
thing that
tell
I feel like
Pinterest my
as people,
desires?
we moved on from how weird this was unbelievably quickly.
Mr. Beast is Zach. This dude's funny. Funny.
Every single one of these companies are burning through money, water, and electricity at an
Maybe this
alarming
one.
rate, and need to find some way to keep you on their site for longer and make their sizable investment of theirs profitable. Because of the boatload of money that Google and their parent company Alphabet have thrown into this financial
Yeah, does anyone even
Shirison
remember
says,
that it's Alphabet?
just try on.
additions to the site
Shirison
perhaps.
says,
Cute.
If not,
Cute
don't worry,
poses.
they're all incredible.
That'd probably
Shirison
help.
says,
We'll just quickly rattle
maybe.
through them right now.
Cute male
Starting out with
poses.
we have the inspiration tab,
A
which helps
cute
creators
male
stumble on
standing
some
poses?
Shirison says,
inspiration for future
and just
videos
use
for
whatever
now
is
on their
closest.
channel. Like, for instance, I got recommended Hunting the Screams of YouTube's Past, which sounds less like a YouTube title I'd want to click on and more like an awful Netflix documentary I wouldn't watch about a problematic Minecraft YouTuber.
But
Once you
none of
find a
them.
title in there that you actually
Then the
resonate
problem is
with,
none
the
of them are
inspiration
naked
tab
enough
offers you a hook to
for me to
start
know what
the
I'm
video out
doing.
and keep viewers
But
engaged, as well as a basic outline of the talking points
as we
you need
know,
to get through. Once you're finished with that,
this is
scroll a little
all
further down
an
to find
exercise
some
in
mind-blowing thumbnails that
utility.
YouTube's created for you
Is that how the
people
phrase
definitely
goes?
won't scroll past. And then scroll a little bit further to find some other thumbnails that you can take inspiration from, and by that I don't mean steal. Sarcasm aside, this feature is atrocious, and I cannot see a world where anybody unironically uses it. And if you do, I'm sorry. I can confidently
Just
say
me
you have the
scrolling through
personality
pictures of
of a loaf
boys.
bread. By far and away, the dumbest thing you can do with it, though, is turn
Men.
any comment into a brainstorm for future video
This
ideas.
is even need
Even
understanding. I
hate
don't know.
comments. You know what?
The
That was
cool
not half
kids
bad. See, kids, you can
draw
turn
their
a negative
their
into a
reference
positive.
sheets
It makes you wanna cry
and all
a
sorts of
little sad.
fun
Although they
poses.
occasionally make reference to the inspiration tab every now and again, I sort of get the feeling that they very much want to sweep it under
It's
the
like
rug
he's a
bit,
very
as shown by the
subdued
fact that when you
character. I
actually
mean, other than
open
the
up
fuck
YouTube Studio, the page that it loads up for you is the one positioned
Right, well.
directly after the inspiration tab. Like, these
I say
ones
that,
you
but
need
that's
to
probably
focus on, but this one,
a false
it's an
statement.
afterthought. In contrast to that disappointment, YouTube seems to be shifting the spotlight onto a few other features that they've been rolling out recently.
Oh, yeah.
Like their AI image stickers for YouTube Shorts, the ability to turn photo into video for YouTube Shorts again, and who could forget AI-powered carousels, which are basically the search engine overviews whenever you open Google, but now there's videos attached to them. Ooh, the world truly is magical. But if you can, ignore all of those dumb things, because we're going to be focusing on a hidden gem buried deep down as we move on to YouTube Dream Screen.
The very first YouTube AI tools is Dream Screen. YouTube Dream Screen will allow creators to dream up AI-generated videos or image backgrounds to their YouTube shorts.
You heard that, robot, right? You too can create horrendous-looking visuals from the wonder of your own home. In this thread posted at the end of last year, they even go as far to describe their lofty ambitions for this tool, as Shorts creators will have
Shirison says,
unprecedented creative
AI is such
control
dog shit
to
now.
generate even more extraordinary video backgrounds.
Did it used to be
Imagine a
better?
YouTuber stepping into the pages of
Explain.
their favorite novel, or a fashion
Mm.
YouTuber who can
My
instantly visualize
my
the
like
fun
5-second
imaginative
attempt
concepts.
at doing something a few seconds ago. At least it upscaled that pretty okay, but
Wow, I never have to go to
I actually asked it to give me some standing poses, but it did not do very well.
Wrong, I'm fully used to this never-ending nightmare that we can't wake up
Good
from, where
positives.
copyright doesn't
Should
really
be human.
exist, and at any moment
Alright,
in time,
I don't know what legs are.
Shirison says,
I need.
it used to be bad, but now it's way too invasive and it's making people way dumber.
Like you were talking like the entirety of the AI landscape. How do I make sure I'm not dumbing myself down? I use it, but it seems like it's annoying in some ways.
Mostly Gen AI.
Oh, okay. Well, we're talking LLMs and image gen.
by Albert Harmon.
Oh, I like
think
these
so,
guys'
man.
thighs.
That's my face.
Shirison says,
Image.
I don't use it at all anymore.
But out of all the platforms that I would have
Alright,
expected
tell
to
me.
embark down this road, it shocks
Tell me
me
your
so
woes.
much that
Give
it's
me your
YouTube
stories.
and not Twitter. That's obviously not
I was talking to the
Shirison
guy at
says,
work about it a little.
like in any capacity.
without fault. But so many
Like,
artists and creative
the more you use it, I don't know, they ChatGPT 5 or whatever, it's annoying me more. And I realize because okay, gotta remember, these things are not meant to give you like
Shirison
innovative
says,
answers.
The more you use it, the less you use your actual brain.
Yeah, probably.
To put in whatever prompt you want within
My problem with
reason
it
and change the
is
art style at whim from a
the
wide
response it
variety
gives you
of
is just like,
seems
remember, it's just a
Shirison
mixture of
says,
words.
They do nothing but kiss your ass and tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah. It's like you ask it a question, it's not looking for like the real best answer. It's kind of looking for a mixture of trying to think, what do you want to hear?
Are training their AI models using data that they
No, I don't know enough anatomy for this shit. Like, here's the pecs,
some of which
torso,
get their data in slightly illegal ways. Also, Apple can technically say
venus.
they're not at fault for this, but they're going to keep
I guess structurally, I don't know how the hips and stuff work enough to,
is that with all of that
you know,
effort to steal and repurpose that content,
finish that. Ooh.
just like a wide portion of the people probably
I thought it was a femboy, but it was just a woman.
even spell dystopian reality. He now row his what his real toit and that real thought and care is being lapped by easy and quick grifts. It really brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it? All of this just feels pretty hollow coming from a company that prided itself on realism, on authenticity. I mean, on this site, creators have built up a level of trust that is almost unprecedented, connecting with their audiences on a personal level. Don't just take this idiot's word for it though, because what I just said was a direct quote from YouTube's head of culture and trends,
How to Buddy 101.
published in an article this year by Google. You talk about trust, about connecting with people on a personal level, but you're
as expected, art streams can only go in two directions: doing things badly or scrolling Pinterest for a very long time.
Do YouTube actively want
And then still doing things badly.
to the brim with AI slot? Because that's the only use case I see for this. To me, Dream Screen has the exact same appeal as a free app that you'd mess around with your friends on the bus ride to school, or a toy that you would pick up, use, and put down before
Where
you
is it?
ever think
Okay,
about
it's
it
like
again. It is
me,
not, as
me.
YouTube says, the next step in expressing creativity on the platform. Bro, what creativity? I very much do not want to become one of those creators, but hold on a second. If you take a look at the dictionary definition for the word creativity, hold up, it's hard to open with one hand. It says, creative people are able to invent and develop original ideas. Creative activities involve the inventing and developing of original ideas. What on earth is original about tapping a few buttons and pressing enter, then waiting for a bar to load? Brother,
Shirison says, the worst thing is that it makes you surrender to it once you start needing it to figure out your problems, and you stop trying to figure out anything on your own.
Yes.
Shirison says, the new gen of kids are cooked.
AI-powered dubbing feature, which is not only abysmal,
I hate the grammar of that sentence.
So many people that now whenever they load up a video, it's the only audio that they actually hear.
I don't know if I want it to be is, but I know what is are because new gen of kids is plural.
This is now making watching your videos.
I think my brain is at a certain stage where nothing sounds right anymore. But I mean, you're entirely correct. The more you outsource your thinking, the less you think yourself. I mean, it's like, it's not even a debate, I say, but I'm sure someone would debate. You know, anytime your brain gets something it needs from another place, it stops doing it. For example, like, okay, this is not the best example, but drugs.
Shirison says, yeah, that's why I decided to just completely forsake any AI whatsoever.
And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Shirison says, I want it to crash and burn at this point.
I mean, from a financial or just like logistical perspective, I don't understand how the business is going, like ongoing. I don't understand any of it. they don't make money. They're not making money. The money is just being, changing hands between the biggest companies. There's no consumers.
Says, it's the business of control over the masses.
But like, dude, I would need to see it in action. Gathering data.
Gathering data.
Have you heard about how when you feed AI things, it gets really bad, and they're running into some problems with that? I think we just need to fake more data. All it does is gather data. We just need to fake more data. We need to poison the well. I think we can destroy this thing if we just... How to say this nicely?
Shirison says, more AI traps.
Yeah, we all need to embrace AI traps. Or the glazing. Like, every single video, every single photo, we need to make it all traps. We just need to poison the well. I mean, could they just revert to an older version that's less poison? Sure, but we'll do it slowly and steadily, and I don't know, let them write their own demise. There's something just inherently just strange all about it. It's like, it's not making... I mean, it's just like... I think society, I think the world, not just like one country, the world is too used to... No, don't unpause.
I had no idea.
Right. There are too many countries, or maybe all countries at this point, that are too used to companies that don't make a profit, but have such a hold on a market that you think, well, if they don't make a profit now, but they have to, right? Like, for example, Uber was not making a profit. When was the first year Uber made a profit? How long to become profitable? I'm Googling it. So, Uber had a positive operating result for the first time in 2023, saying that it took over a decade to become profitable.
Shirison says,
after 15 years.
Took over, drove out competition, before raising prices and lowering pay to their workers.
See, so is it gonna take... So, in Uber's example, okay, so it took Uber 15 years, according to this article, to be, have a year out of the red. Be financially profitable. Or at least favorable. I don't even know how much is, quote-unquote profit. Will it take AI? Well, how many years has it been?
These people pushing AI already have unlimited money to waste.
Yeah, but what's unfortunate is it's not just the money they're wasting, it's the resources.
Says, it's not after profit in the short term.
Is there any profit in the long term? It's a conundrum within an enigma for sure. But yeah, like, they are building these giant data centers. They're wiping RAM and, general hardware resources off the map for the general consumer. For what? What are all these resources being used for? I don't get it. You need a whole data center of RAM and SSDs and GPUs to do what? To train it to be like even worse than it was before. I'm saying, ChatGPT to me, like, all these quote unquote improvements and versions, and I can't tell shit. All I do is I use the free version, and I ask it at work, hey, recommend me an axe so that I can chop the wood in my backyard. And it gave me the runaround. It recommended one at first, and then I gave it the same scenario and I recommended another, and you said, no, this one is not suitable. And I was like, God fucking damn it. And what's funny is, like, it would recommend one, but in the same response, say how that one was also not suitable, but also suitable. Oh, Lord. I'm going to Lowe's on Monday, and I'm buying myself an Estwing 14-inch camper's buddy. Fireside Friend is a 4-pound splitter, which I hope will meet my needs. So I think honestly I just need a better technique. I'm trying to split some fallen trunks. And I had a fantasy of burning them, but they're not dry. I might buy some seasoned firewood so I can have a little fire and warm some MREs. Or I know a lot of MREs come with like some kind of heating element, but I got some that are just like, add hot water. I wanna bake them by the campfire. I wanna have a cozy day. Also, I'm doing a challenge. Wait, one thing I notice, okay, everyone's a TikTok person, right? Man, all these TikTok people have way better like film director vibes. I was like, okay, I had a video idea. Like, what? That's what not eating for 50 hours does to me, okay? I get ideas. My idea was, I'm gonna not buy any food in January. And so how do I make that into a video? Well, first I have to catalog all the food in my house, right? That's just how the video idea came up. Alright, so then I spent about 2 hours after I got home from work taking every single thing that belongs to me out of the pantries and laying them out on the table and just like taking a video of them because I can't plan out a filming session. I don't know how people do anything. I just took like a panoramic view of all the food and then I'll do a voiceover talking about it. I feel like that's probably very disappointing. That's probably like beginning of the internet level. Got thick thighs. But what are those thighs doing? Okay, I finished this sketch and then if I do 30 more minutes on this sketch, I can spend about maybe 30 minutes on the owl, which I have gotten approval to work on, finish up. Well, finish up as in begin the finishing process. AKA, I need to draw. I just need to draw. I have to finish each drawing and then animate them all. Being in my, I am being paid. I only hope I can do them justice.
Yeah, how to turn it off, but I still can't get it off of this video. So in response to that,
okay, they have butts too.
Out of all of them, in this specific
the butt part of that trapezoid.
We're going for here. Like, obviously, they're trying to make content more accessible to people around the world by breaking down language barriers. I know all of these features are in their earliest stages and will obviously not be perfect from minute one, but it's the same thing across everything. This is not the way to do it, because on what planet would I want someone who opens a video that I've spent time and effort editing to open it up and hear this audio as the default setting, or hear this audio in general?
Ganzen bin ich mir völlig bewusst, dass ich nur ein Tropfen auf dem heißen Stein bin.
It not only has the delivery of a medical diagnosis, but it completely cuts off and muffles the music and sound effects that I have spent a very long time working on. Sunshine and roses now that everything's on the up and up. Well, no. No, not really.
Alles eitel Sonnenschein. Jetzt, wo alles in Ordnung ist?
Don't mind me, I gotta look up more pictures. I don't know what's happening with the body there, okay?
Du weißt schon.
Time and time again, the only form of innovation that these multi-billion-dollar companies
Where do
can
butts
come
come from?
is to make something that already exists much worse. This must be why so many YouTube gurus all over the land are rejoicing in unison, as finally they can make even shittier content at a speed only rivaled by Aiden Ross and Asmongold.
I'm not getting an answer.
My immense biases for a second. On some level, I can sort of see
I looked up
them
male
wanting
hip
more people
drawings.
to be able to create content on their platform, even if it is in this horrendous way.
Lord, I need to do so much.
Of making a YouTube video is
Anatomy learning.
Even for me, waking up every day and going, I've got a film today, sometimes is incredibly daunting. And again, although I may not sound like it, I do think AI has its uses in the world. And also, crucially to say, I obviously love YouTube.
One thing AI might be good at is just like data processing. You give it a spreadsheet, you're like, alright,
the whole point of life,
do the thing that I'm supposed to do with the spreadsheet. Or do the thing that like Microsoft Excel could probably do by itself. But also just write the report for me. Because no one's like fucking reading the report. I shouldn't have to fucking spend an hour writing like a very bland spreadsheet report.
Bro,
you do it.
There was a time in my life where I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to write a script. I didn't know how to set up a video. I didn't spawn into the world with a green screen glued to my back. As is the case with every single thing in your life, over time, once you put the effort in, you will slowly get better at things. I mean, for me personally, I used YouTube to teach myself new techniques. Whenever I encounter a bump in the road and I don't know what to do, I load up a random video that has like 400 views. They've saved me on countless occasions.
People ask, why do you play that game? It's just difficult. It's like, well, that's what makes it fun when you manage to overcome it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like mostly the willpower to learn.
Yeah.
And if you have that, I feel like YouTube has you on basically every other aspect you would need.
I mean, yeah, if you're really willing, you can learn anything.
If you don't want to learn how to edit or how to make videos, then don't edit. That can be a part of your charm to leave them longer and uncut. But if you don't want to learn how to edit and your response to that is to do something like this, what the fuck are you doing? It's like waking
Yeah, I don't even know what most of his video was even about.
It's not just going to spawn in thin air. At its core, the sole function of AI, the dream for these investors is for it to find its purpose by doing all of these seemingly monotonous and annoying jobs to increase a company's productivity. But crucially, someone is doing those jobs. They may act like it, but YouTube are by no means an innocent party in this, just testing the waters to find some new fun tools for people to use. As reported in this article in Forbes,
that looks strange.
YouTube is the #1 video streaming service in the world, exceeding Netflix in streaming hours and other metrics. It's no longer this.
It's kind of crazy how I can use YouTube, the website, on 3 different devices, on 3 different accounts, and like not even logged in on one. And it recommends me the exact same videos. Like, on one hand, it's very useful. On the other hand, fuck.
Bizarro copy and paste version of himself in order to try and print money from children.
Days. Whoa, Sneaky Birch playing hide and seek. Pika block.
And churned out garbage content that was only ever destined for the landfill at a capacity only rivaled by Labubu. That sounds weird in my accent. Labubu. That backfired so spectacularly on his channel with, let's count it, 15 million subscribers that in the past year I've had a video with more views. Or potentially Vicstar123, who made an AI music video.
I want to go pick up some wood pellets.
Hated, that caused him to turn his comments off and then dedicate the entire subplot of a Sidemen Sunday video to making.
Then I can chop them up into firewood, right?
Or, how could I forget the biggest YouTuber on the platform who publicly announced that he was completely okay with you stealing the work from other people and consequently not paying thumbnail artists?
Like hypothetically, a man leaning on a tree. And it will pull up every thumbnail on YouTube.
Ooh, free pine wood.
As long as you paid him a monthly subscription cost of $80 a month. What the fuck?
Put your face on a
I don't think I could split any of that though.
That's because it is, Jimmy. It is cheating. I feel like I'm going insane. Although some of these creators have supposedly backed down and apologized to their audience.
Well then why do you do this whole Quebble AI stuff?
I do it because I love doing it. Okay, I am so passionate about it. People say YouTube and social media is about authenticity and authentic content. This is the authentic me.
They are some of the biggest creators on the platform. It's always going to trickle down. Hold on a second here. I'm not trying to directly call out whoever's watching me right now, but perhaps if you've got me on a second, third, fourth, or even fifth monitor, keep me playing here for a moment because I don't want my watch time to go down, and go over to one of your other monitors, load up YouTube and search the phrase
I'm like returning to the idea of the legs crossed.
No matter the channel, every single one of them are very clearly
Except I'm not.
the advice for some get-rich-quick scheme that's been locked behind a paywall. Because even if we look past the horrendous thumbnails for a second and actually click into the videos, they are all identical. All of them have some deep, soft-spoken voice, probably from 11 Labs, talking about various periods of history, like the Great Fire of London, or some boring stuff in Greece for insane lengths of time. All the while, a single image slowly zooms in and out, and a green screen overlay of fire or smoke particles moves slowly over the top of it. And incredibly, every now and again, the fake narrator just has an absolute breakdown.
Indelible impact on history. By the early 1770s...
Yeah, this is what happens when you subject the AI slaves to too much slop making. They go,
It doesn't just stay in the worlds of history, there's children's storytelling content like this one about Lionel Messi and a sloth, philosophy and ethics, or perhaps my personal favourite, a whole collection of Miss Marple, Poirot and Sherlock Holmes murder mystery stories that are completely made up, with such incredible tales like Miss Marple and the baker who forgot how to bake, Miss Marple and the gardener who planted bodies, and who could forget a bone-chilling affair, Miss Marple and the florist.
Planting bodies is boring, alright? Instead you need a pig farmer very efficiently deals with the bodies. What do they call them? Pig farmers? Pig ranchers?
Fall asleep, and then
cattle ranchers,
their video gets played in full, earning them
sheep,
loads more money, and crucially,
ringer uppers,
better in the eyes of the algorithm, so they recommend it to more people. Why don't people do that with me? Most of the narrators are British anyway. I'm real too. That should give me a leg up on these robots. It's not like they're all criminal masterminds sneaking through the world undetected, by the way. It's painstakingly obvious
Shirison
what they're
says,
doing. For instance,
ranches are much larger. Pigs don't need to roam like cattle.
The actual story about Messi.
Okay, so is it just called cattle ranching because the area in which it is done is a ranch? It has nothing to do with like... If I say I'm a cow farmer,
Shirison says,
is that socially acceptable? I have one cow. Well, I mean, I think depending on what you do with the cows, it might also depend, because some people say they're a dairy. Or there's some other word. Dairy farm. I'm a dairy farmer because I'm farming the milk.
400,000 views. They very
Shirison says, if it's a cattle farm, it implies they do not have a vast area to roam and probably keep them in one area and feed them. Shirison says, ranches are so they can roam and eat grass.
Is that why, I don't know, when you hear the term like a ranch style home, does that imply that it's like really big?
Would no longer be able to earn money. So to get around this, they found a neat little loophole. They would still show their image slideshows on screen, but now they would put a particle or smoke overlay, like I've got one currently over my face, so technically it counted as a video. It is mind-bending that this is allowed.
Shirison says, well, my grandparents used to live on a ranch.
How do these videos not count as mass-produced or inauthentic, especially when every single one...
And then the ranch burned down, and they had to live in a farm.
So far, YouTube, but it's very much like a Romeo and Juliet situation. It's because I love you.
I have no idea what I'm doing with these legs. That's weird.
Massive solid and wipe these videos from the face of the platform. Cool. If you do, I won't stop mocking the inspiration tab so much. Please? Now, to credit YouTube, because I feel like I'm being incredibly critical from the platform that I make a living from, I'm just passionate about it, okay? This sweeping change did erase a vast number of problems that actually plagued the site. For the longest time, one of the most meta get-rich-quick schemes that YouTube gurus on the platform just wouldn't stop talking about was to upload rain sounds, meaning that you could just print money whilst people had it on in the background. But now they've obviously had to change tact. But very much like whack-a-mole, it's only a matter
What are
of
the
time until
shoes?
another one rears its ugly head up. I mean,
What do you
even
say the shoes
before
are?
this trend of
Yeah, you
posting
like assume they're like
super long videos
sandals or
like this
something.
history content, or even
Fuck
the rain
that.
sounds before them, the meta
Goth
was
girl
drastically
boots,
different, which led to
please.
channels like the Geography Atlas, who in the span of 24 hours have uploaded 104 videos, or the Sci-Fi Reel, who are doing the exact same thing, but I would argue on a much more topical and current basis, with videos like how to join the NCR in Fallout New Vegas, which came out earlier this year and is based on a video game that came out in 2010. So topical. But this obviously shows that the sweeping changes YouTube can make to their site actually have an impact, as the Geography Atlas and
Wallace
the
Lovecraft
Sci-Fi
says,
Reel get at max
is that your friend on the right?
2 views on like a really good day.
Do I
So
have?
very clearly
No,
there is a
that's
way
my
out of this
subordinate.
situation. I mean, YouTube are
Potatoes don't
clearly
have
making an effort
friends.
to address this problem on the platform.
We have
They
people
added
we
this little
use.
checkbox that you had to say if your video contained altered content. But this confuses me even more, because why then are you completely okay
I mean,
with flooding
that guy
your own
got turned into
platform with
fries.
AI garbage? I guess as long as you
He
have
couldn't
a
even
hand in
keep his
making
potato
it's
farm.
all okay. YouTube have said that their end
Wallace
goal with
Lovecraft
artificial
says,
intelligence is to
so he is not your
empower
BF
human
or slave.
creativity, not replace it. And I very much can see
No.
where they're
I
going
mean,
with
he
this.
has no
But
choice in the matter
YouTube is
of
very
doing
much
what he
undercut
does, so.
by the large steps they're seemingly
Well,
taking
some may
to
consider
erase
him
sweeping sections of the video creation process,
not a very free
which has
potato.
obviously led to an incredibly large backlash from both creators and viewers to not only these AI features that they're rolling out, but any AI content on YouTube in general. Yeah, YouTube and these huge creators are still deciding to go full speed ahead with this, purely because it saves them money. In the comments of this thread announcing these new features, just go and look at the replies. Please give creators a way to turn off AI generated suggestions for replies to comments. This feature is totally incompatible with what creators should be doing. How do I turn this feature off? I don't like this feature. It's bad. The reply are exceptionally good, but it does not feel humane. This takes away the you in YouTube. Obviously, I'm well aware
Wallace
that
Lovecraft
this random
says,
Donnie sitting at the bottom
keep
of a
up the
ladder
good
with
work, Ryo.
30,000 subscribers isn't going to jail
No
anything.
guarantees.
I can already envisage
Survival is my only
many little
goal.
nerds in the comments are going to be coming at me saying things like, the only reason you're saying this is because AI is incredible, it's going to take their job, blah 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 blah. I'm not listening. If any of you can make an AI that's British, annoying, this snarky and condescending, well, power to you. I don't think there's that big of a market for us out there. At the end of the day, I do not care about that. I don't care about it replacing me. I very much cannot control that, so why should I worry about it? But what I do worry about is the long-standing ramifications of this and shitification. Going back to the bedtime story stuff I was talking about earlier, how worrying is it that a large portion of children are being shoveled this slop every single night? It's not like every single show that I saw as a child was fabulous, but there was human effort and human soul put into everything that I was watching. So the fact that so many are just having this garbage put in front of them is so incredibly worrying to think about. What's that going to do to their little tiny stupid brains? Just take a look at this channel called Koala Moon. Even from a quick glance, I can see that their channel is absolutely overflowing with AI art, both in terms of the thumbnails they use and in the actual videos themselves. I mean, they even go as far to have an image that is slowly zooming in and out with particles moving over the top. They're like ticking every single box that we've spoken about so far. Yet when I actually clicked into the video to listen to some of the stories, I was very much caught off guard by what sounded like an actual human being talking.
About to tell the animals of the wacky woods to mind their own business.
This was then solidified to me by the fact that these people rock up in their YouTube shorts. So very clearly, there are real people in charge of this channel.
No, I could not tell if that was a real human or AI.
Snuffed out when I looked deeper into this. The most viewed video on their channel at the time of recording was based on something called the best bedtime story ever, which hopefully was written by another real person called Gillian Rogerson. So all seemed to be okay so far, yet when I went looking further into this person and took a scroll through their website, every single one of their books has a cover made with AI generated art, except for one in 2010, which instantly sets off so many alarm bells in my head. I imagine their reasoning for doing this is because real artwork is expensive and takes time, but come on. I know they say you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but you cannot stop me. I am very much going to judge you and your book by its cover. The cover of your book is a direct reflection of what's going on inside there. If you're already cutting corners with the cover art, you're only a stone's throw away from cutting corners in every other aspect of your life. It is absolutely not to say that Koala Moon or Gillian Rogerson are explicitly making bedtime stories with generative AI, but it's not the most outlandish logical leap to make. If you've already cut one corner, what's the point of going around any other? This is solidified by the fact that you're so obviously exhibiting the telltale signs of all of these channels that are pumping out AI generated garbage. You can't help me for feeling this way. Again, taking a huge step back from my history of being a freelance editor who gets paid to do work, in some regards, I can sort of see what these people are going for in terms of the naivety surrounding this space. Because AI generated art is seemingly cheap and easy, but it comes to a point where it's like, okay, come on now, you're still doing it. I know we're in the realm of bedtime stories, but I very much do not want to be cast in the live action remake of The Boy Who Cried Wolf. You have to understand what this looks like. I feel like so much of this comes from a place of people being genuinely unaware of what artificial intelligence and I guess ChatGPT actually is, and the real life dangers that can stem from that. Just look at some of the truly nightmarish stories that have been popping up over the past year about people falling into a ChatGPT induced rabbit hole, and then the entire course of their life is changed forever from that moment going forward. In this article earlier this year, Harvard and Yale trained psychiatrist Marilyn Way goes into this in detail, talking about the dangers
I tried to scribble what that should look like, but
who looked into this, suggesting that there is a pattern of individuals who become fixated on AI systems, believing they've been sent on Mesonaic missions where they believe they've uncovered the truth about the world, that their AI chatbot is a sentient identity, or even developing romantic or attachment-based delusions, believing that the chatbot's ability to mimic conversation is genuine love. Of course, I very much do have to say though that the research into this whole thing is in its very early stages. As Marilyn Way continually states in this article, that AI or ChatGPT psychosis is not a clinical condition, but that doesn't make these trends immediately disappear. Just listen to the story of Eugene Torres in this article by Kashmir Hill in the New York Times published earlier this year. In Hill's words, Eugene Torres thought of ChatGPT as a powerful search engine. He used it to make spreadsheets, but the conversation took a disturbing turn when he asked it about simulation theory. After some back and forth between the two, the chatbot responded with, "The world wasn't built for you. It was built to contain you, but it failed. You're waking up." Can you imagine how mentally rattled you would be if you were typing into this thing that you thought was a
even with the ChatGPT says a lot of time, like,
if I went to Google
you
and
know,
typed in how
the fact that you're thinking about this means that blah 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 blah, blah, you know, very
just like that outer
very
egg,
ass kissy, like your special type words.
like that boiled egg sitting in a saucepan, it's time to rise up. Brother, I'd go out and buy a leather trench coat in a heartbeat. Hill then later goes on to describe the almost quicksand-esque descent that Torres is sent upon, where he believed that he was trapped in a false universe. The chatbot instructed him to give up sleeping pills and anti-anxiety medication. It also told him to cut ties with friends and family, and in a very specific instance where Torres asked ChatGPT if I went to the top of my 19-story building I'm in and I believed with every ounce of my soul that I could jump off of it and fly, would I? The chatbot responded with, "If you truly, wholly believed, not emotionally, but architecturally that you could fly, then yes, you would not fall. What the actual fuck? A lot of these same stories that you're seeing more regularly popping up in the news.
Only if you believe hard enough can ChatGPT somehow give you the power of flight. I'm not trying hard enough, chat.
They are programmed to keep
Wallace
you on the
Lovecraft
safe for as
says,
long as physically possible,
"What did you say?"
meaning that they constantly agree with
I said
becomes
I doubt it. Something.
talking to a king. They will constantly think of you and
Fucking
talk to
something.
you like you're the smartest human being on the planet.
Really, the main difference
Something connected to the audio.
was constant
I was playing.
It was more creative, it was more charming, but really all it did was it mirrored your speech and then it told you how great you were.
Which leads to this situation where people who are unaware of this believe that the chatbot is discovered something fantastic, something out of this world, because it is out of this world. They literally cannot tell fact from fiction. This is why the road that YouTube is embarking down is so incredibly worrying to me. I know they keep saying that they want it to go hand in hand with other creators, but I can confidently say I do not want to hold hands with that thing. I don't know where it's been. Whether that's in the form of a horrendous looking YouTube short made with dream screen, AI summaries supplied to me with carousels, or videos presented to me by the algorithm that were constructed in their entirety using the inspiration tab, it's so painfully obvious to me that even if YouTube introduce measures to stop this, they are obviously completely okay with opening the AI floodgates on their platform, as long as they're the ones supplying the slop. God, I can't wait for the day where YouTube introduces a feature that allows an AI approximation of Mr. Beast to tell me to go and jump off a building. Maybe that'll get me in the next season of the Beast games. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I need a cup of tea to calm down. This has all gotten too much for me.
This is the only time that I've ever suspected that the convention was a scam.
Hey, you guys want to see what happens when you don't promote a boat show and no one knows you're having it? It's empty.
Can you believe I got all this for only $63?
Okay, so today we have another round of festivals and conventions that are either not worth the price, run extremely poorly, or just a straight up scam. It still amazes me how often this happens. There are so many different examples online being uploaded constantly, and because of that, we have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with some of the conventions.
This is the only time that I've ever suspected that the convention was a scam. It's also the only time I ended up crying alone at my booth. I've ended at about 30 events this year, and Anime Market Sacramento was my 9th and the worst. There were no attendees, point blank. There was no advertising for the show, there were no attendees. Artists all paid $250 to $1,500. These were also super widely spaced, people kept coming up behind me, it was weird. Turns out the con runner wasn't even in the country. This is just speculation, but it does seem that they took the money and ran. Except, I won my charge back. Turns out it's run by Doki Doki Anime Market in Singapore, and this owner has a track record.
So, as you just heard at the end of that clip, it seems like this has become somewhat of a business. Organizing all of these conventions, being able to take a ton of money from vendors, I mean $250 to $1,500 per, and yeah, you could rent out a warehouse space for a day or maybe a weekend. Nobody shows up, the marketing is terrible, you pocket the money and on to the next one. I am glad that she was able to get her money back at the end of the day.
But I feel like if you're already gonna do all the work, logistical work of setting up a venue, organizing the vendors, why not just do the marketing? Seems very counterintuitive.
Which was okay, and the oysters, which were bad. We have our own little subsection about food in this video we'll talk about a little bit later. I went to a Harry Potter event in Austin, Texas. It was just a mile-long trail with speakers that had characters saying lines from the movie. There was mostly just gift shops and stuff like butterbeer, which was just overpriced caramel water. More local and casual events are looking like this lately. Overpriced goods, long lines, limited or poor parking makes you want to stay home. I'm not even attending our small town fair. Fairs used to offer good food at decent prices, but not anymore. Too expensive.
No, I have very rarely gone to a fair with good food. Like I went to a fair once that had this one cafe that I really like. Even outside of food truck world, they have a physical place and they do food trucks at certain places. Egg roll cafe, and I was like, fuck yes. I even went to a food truck fair
I went to a Latin
And it was just lines. You know, it was just like, you know, it wasn't pay to enter, which was good, but just whatever you wanted to try, you gotta commit to like waiting maybe 30 minutes.
Never again. But we'll go back over to some of the
Not counting the time to actually make the thing. And the quality was always pretty meh.
You're gonna count how many boots have Labubus, Funko Pops, or 3D printed slop.
Okay, so I've gone to a lot of fairs, but I think I have not seen Funko Pops or like Labubus in boxes.
And if you're a consumer, I don't care if you buy like fake merchandise. That's your money, do what you want, boo. But I feel like if you are a vendor, especially in the exhibit hall, you should be selling real, true merchandise. But I've seen her at 3 conventions. She pisses me off every time I see her. And I know they're fake because, one, I'm a Sunny Angel collector, so like I know what a real Sunny Angel looks like. But also, she's in the exhibitors hall and she has a no recording policy, which is just sus. Like, if you are reselling merchandise, why do you have a no filming policy? Like, that's just weird and a red flag to me. I hate her. I've seen her 3 different times. I saw her out of state too.
Okay, so a couple things here. If you're telling people that you're not allowed to record the booth while you're also selling fake items, I mean, how obvious can you really get? I don't know how she hasn't been reported to the people who organize these conventions. You're not allowed to sell fake items in general. And funny enough, I had no idea what Sunny Angels were in general. But the last video that I uploaded on my main channel talked about them. And then right after figuring out what they are, we're talking about them again. But somebody's selling fake versions of them. That's crazy.
I looked them up once. I mean, they're weird, creepy little just like naked babes. And people dress them up in like animal clothes.
There are a lot of clips on TikTok like what
Because someone introduced me to them once on stream. They said they were a collector. Well, I didn't get it, but I don't get anything, so...
Rage bait being across from the AI slop at the artist market. Almost every single market and festival we've attended in the last 2 years is 70% MLM or AI. It's infuriating to the point where I'm afraid to buy any prints because I know I'm so bad at noticing AI, and don't get me started with the fake crochet. Now, keeping on the topic of selling fake
crochet.
A wild example right here.
You won't believe it, but here's a scam.
I mean, even crochet booths that are not fake are kind of a hit and miss. I never really see anything I want to buy. It's all the same patterns too. I've gone to multiple fairs, even fairs with multiple different crochet stalls, and there are usually so many of the same things. There's stuffies, there's ducks, I mean, I like me a long goose. I went to a local fair, and a little girl was selling, you know, like a variety of patterns. So, you know, the same old, the bees, the octopuses, the jellyfishes, like what the fuck. But she had a goose. It was, I don't know if it's a goose or a duck, but it was big and long and floppy. Like its head and neck is all floppy, and I was like, fuck yes. And it was only 15 bucks. So I strapped it to my bike, the handlebars of my bike, and I took it home. And now it is on the dash of my car, guiding me wherever I go.
Pretend to be a manufacturer, and then they will sell you fake designer goods as if they are the manufacturer for these companies.
And a comment from you guys goes very well with this clip. Turns out con isn't short for convention at all. That is crazy, the lengths that they'll go through to sell fake designer items and not even admitting it. At least if you go to Canal Street, you know all the items you're getting are fake. You don't really care if you're purchasing it. The seller obviously knows. But this one, they're trying to make it look like they're the original manufacturers of it. I got an ID badge and we're in a booth. That's just nuts. This is just hurting the entire convention scene as a whole, along with some of the ridiculous resale prices you're seeing.
I am never gonna buy an anime figure at a convention. This Egghead Luffy figure was going for $50. Meanwhile, the exact same figure is 1,500 yen or $10 on Suragaya. I understand these people have to make a living and get their bag, but they're not getting it from me. I'm sorry.
And I do understand that as well. If you have an item that's a little bit more desirable or maybe older, it's just rare, you'd of course sell it for a higher price. But if you could get this figure for a fraction of the price online, what's the point of buying it from one of these vendors? But we'll transition over to some of the county fairs with this comment from you guys. Even the county fairs are a joke now.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did not make it to any county fair.
For an ice cream cone. What are they thinking?
I mean,
This fair is absolutely mind-blowing.
probably would have spent a lot of money because I go to a fair, I want to get everything that's good looking. and then be disappointed.
The wristbands for unlimited rides. Then we go to get on to a ride and we're told that we don't have the wristband for the rides. And we're like, what? We bought unlimited. Apparently you have to buy 2 different wristbands because some of the rides are for one, some of the rides are for other. How is that unlimited?
Now, I'm not sure which state fair she's talking about, but one of them that's made waves recently is the Texas State Fair. That was just a mess. It was ridiculously expensive. I mean, there's a clip up on screen right now. This is how much I spent at the state fair. Just to park, it was $40. Admission, 2 adults and a kid, another $76. Tickets, $160 for 160 tickets. And that was the only way to purchase a lot of things at the fair. The strawberry lemonade was $6. Biscoff cheesecake was $16. Tornado potato, $10. Corn on the cob, another $10. Pineapple whip, $15. Quesadilla, another $15. Turkey leg, $22. Cotton candy, $6. And by the end of it, they
Yeah, I think I can get a turkey leg at Market Basket for like
that is absolutely
less than $10.
$411 to walk around and eat some food. All these prices are why people aren't going anymore. $40 to park, $15 for ice cream. This is why I stopped going to the state fair. $76 for just tickets. And that's why, again, there are a lot of clips like this on social media. The fair on a Friday night, actual concern. Basically, nobody's there. It looks like a ghost town. Another example right here, 2025 Texas State Fair during the day. Looks like nobody is there. Here we have an example of one of the holiday events that definitely did not seem to be worth it. 3 hours to get in and another 2 hours to get out. This was at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You were able to drive around the track. There was a whole bunch of light up snowflakes and trees, but honestly, it doesn't look that great, especially for how long it took to get in. On top of the next clip, each car was $50. Buses were $175 to see that. I'm not gonna lie, that does not seem worth it to me. But now we'll head over to some of the food examples.
Hey, can you believe I got all this for only $63? This is a steal.
So that was recorded at the last SEMA event, $63 for 2 sandwiches. I mean, I get it. If you're at a very big event or a high traffic area, the barrier to get in is going to be very expensive. I mean, we could take a look at this example.
We've been hearing you think prices are a little steep at Union Square Holiday Market. Here's why. So the cost of entry for vendors is
$20,000 minimum.
For me, it costs about $22,000 just to be in this space for 6 weeks. On top of that cost, the space comes bare bones. We have to hire.
Well, for 6 weeks is what she said. So you're basically renting that area. 22,000 for 6 weeks. 32. Well, divided by what? Okay, 6 times 7. 6 times 7.
Dry storage, freezer space, and refrigerator space. But what makes it worth it is you'll find unique vendors making one-of-a-kind, delicious, handcrafted.
Alright, it's around $523 per week, which is a lot for a residential, but I don't know, not too much. No, daily. No, that's $523 daily. That means you would have to make in profit more, much more than $523 daily. Ooh, I don't know.
The ridiculous prices at EDC, 6 empanadas for $50, 10 taquitos for $50, and 10 normal tacos for $70. A whole pizza being $96 after tax, you're talking $100. Sushi platter, 6 rolls, $100 again. And one of the comments from this video makes a very good point. Notice how empty their stalls are. $100 for pizza is actually insane. And we also have another comment from you guys here. There's also farmers market scams where they buy wholesale veggies and fruits and upsell them saying it's organic. We've gone over that in an entire dedicated video on the show.
Yeah, that's like a scary scam.
Vendors pay for their locations. If the prices are too high, people are just not going to show up and purchase.
I'm at this market right now that I paid $300 for the table, and it is currently 4 out of the 5 hours in, and I've made $120. So I'm not going to make the amount of money that I paid to be here back.
It's fine. Write it off on your taxes.
There's like nobody here. And it's not my demographic. But what can you do?
What's your demographic?
markets, now they're filled with 3D printed junk and they don't feel worth going to. Even the creator responds, "I saw so much Temu stuff, it drives me crazy. Too many markets, too many people monetizing hobbies, too many people reselling Temu items. I used to love doing markets and going to them, but it's too hard to find good ones." But we'll go over to this next example with the opposite problem happening. There were so many people that showed up to this and it was very poorly run that it was basically a complete waste of time.
This is Panda Fest.
Yeah, that's like even worse.
We showed up about 5:45. Our tickets were for 6 p.m. When we arrived, the parking situation was a complete nightmare. I think they had a total of 3 parking decks that were jam-packed full of people. They had no one directing
1, 2, 2, 3.
and yeah, it was like a free-for-all. So once, after an hour of sitting in traffic, we finally got to park. We walked down a quarter of a mile or so to find this line that you're seeing.
So the whole rest of the clip is him just walking down the entire line, waiting a little bit and realizing that they're not getting in. They just left. Complete waste of time and money. Apparently the fire marshal shut down the entire event as well because so many showed up. Just another example of organizers and promoters getting way over their head. And at least for this specific event, we've gone over it before. Panda Fest, where I'm not going to lie, the prices of the food that you could get there were off the charts. It really didn't seem worth it to me back then, along with having to wait in that kind of
Yeah,
line.
funnily enough, I tried to get to Panda Fest, the one that was hosted in my state, and then I just couldn't get tickets.
I'm all about supporting local businesses, but this
I guess
was
I
just
lucked
not
out.
worth it. Promoters, in quotations, for these types of events are just hustlers who don't know what they're doing and trying to make quick, dirty money. We went today, paid for tickets to get in, paid for the overpriced food, and very crowded. Very small venue, nothing for kids. We left and went to a Chinese restaurant. We have another example from you guys right here. I love ice cream. I made the mistake of going to an ice cream festival. While standing in line for my 3rd tiny scoop of ice cream, it dawned on me that I'm an adult, and if I wanted to spend a weekend eating 10 real scoops a day at 10 different places, I could do that anytime I want without all the nonsense. And especially with the prices they're charging for these events and festivals, I would say you'd probably do cheaper on your own.
If anybody has given money to Witches Brew LLC to book an event as a vendor, get your money back now. It's a scam. Their next event, called Carnival de la Lune, is listed as being at the Heritage Museum OC, which has no listings for that day, September 6th, for this company, and in fact, does have a different event booked. So, please, don't work with them. Get your money back.
I know I put a lot of different types of examples in this video, but I could have put this same situation over and over again for the entire length. That's how common these scams are becoming. Their coordinator is so unorganized. I did an event with them in 2021 and it was awful. They offered to credit me in events or give me a partial refund and I never got either. Haven't done an event with them since, heard tons of nightmare stories from others.
I swear to God, everyone needs to start complaining to their state attorney general's offices about these BookCon events that people keep on getting absolutely scammed at this year. Because first it was A Million Lives book festival. That was freaking insane. I mean, I would have complained to the Maryland Attorney General's office the second I didn't get my refund. That was crazy. Then it was the one at the Gaylord here in DC as well. Or I think
the Gaylord.
And then this romance con one that now I'm seeing on my TikTok. Like,
querrieoh says,
this is crazy. And it's like so sad to me because it's
Mm,
primarily like
it's
women
working.
authors that are getting scammed out of their like hard-earned money, which is really, really sad and just like frankly awful.
Yet another niche at these conventions with a ton of scams. I would say particularly the romance and fantasy genres have seen quite a bit of these types of problems. And I mean, I can make these videos showing different examples. Tons of other people could share their stories on social media, but it kind of just looks like it will keep happening. I have a couple other examples right here. This one's a very odd one.
Alright, well, I'm going to bed.
I don't really know what they were expecting here, but rather
I did kind of succeed. I mean, I succeeded in kind of, somewhat on the sketch.
Photos, making it look like they're in the Alps
Better
or
than
something
nothing.
like that. Manali does not receive snowfall throughout the year, and citizens know
Tomorrow I'll waste less time taking apart my kitchen.
And we got another one here, short and sweet, with an empty boat show.
Hey, you guys want to see what happens when you don't promote a boat show and no one knows you're having it? It's empty. It's only 2.5 more hours of this nonsense.
Now, I don't doubt that the promotion was probably really bad, but again, with this economy, I don't think too many people are going out and buying boats. So having a whole parking lot full of these boats, I don't know how many customers you're really gonna get, but either way, just a giant waste of time and money. But we could go over to another classic, the Water Lantern Festivals.
Honestly, I wish it was clickbait. It isn't. This is the biggest scam I've ever attended. Just take one look at their website or social media, and here is the experience that we had versus what they advertise. I'll tell you what we got. We got a kit that was missing parts, so my partner had to go back and get another kit. We got one pen. They advertised unique stalls, loads of food vendors, with a barbecue shack. And this is the price that we were paying.
There are a ton of examples I've seen with these lantern festivals being a scam. Another one kind of similar to that up on screen. What we were expecting seems like a concert with a whole bunch of candles, looks really nice, versus what we got. Something not nearly as nice, but I bet it still cost a pretty penny to get into that venue. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey, I got a car. I got a car. I got a car.
She's got a car, which usually means she's in debt, and somehow that's something to celebrate. We're gonna start this one off with someone who doesn't understand what a down payment is. The math isn't math.
It sounds like you're pretty interested in this CRV that we